Good evening, everybody. I'm Fictional Crystals, and yet another new episode is on its way. Literally only a few days ago, we got the airdate for the new crystal gems. And now we got the airdate for Storm in the Room, which is the 23rd of February. The synopsis for the episode says Steven goes into his room in the temple to look for answers. Yes, Steven, remember what happened last time you looked for answers? The gems tend to hold stuff back from him, so I'm glad he's putting his foot down and looking for answers himself. He deserves to know these things. We don't know what answers he wants right now, but we can make some guesses. Steven still has questions about Pink Diamond. Sure, he got a few more answers in the latest Steven bomb, but that was certainly not enough. The room typically only does stuff he says or knows about. For the most part, it knows what he wants, and sometimes it knows what he's thinking.
I know what you really want. I know how you really feel.
Steven doesn't know much about Pink Diamond, so the room doesn't have much to work with. But you know who does know stuff about Pink Diamond? Rose Quartz, the former owner of the room. I've talked about this theory several times both on YouTube and on Instagram, so let me just sum it up. What if Steven can access some of Rose's memories, or even talk to her in her room, or her dream? I've mentioned that too. As in, part of Rose's mind, memories or thoughts are in Steven's subconscious, and the room could be able to access Steven's subconscious. Some evidence for him being able to access her thoughts or memories or whatever you'd call it is the tiny pink floating whale. Most pink things on this show are related to Rose. Plus the whale can float like Rose and it has her exact voice.
What do you want, Steven?
I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing the whale again in this episode. It could be like Steven's guide to help him find answers. What if it's a part of Rose's mind or memories manifesting into the room? Or Rose just left something for Steven in the room? If Steven is able to access some stuff about Rose in the room, he could learn some of the things she knew about Pink Diamond. Maybe like a small glimpse into the past of Pink Diamond or the war. Perhaps there's a storm in that flashback. Of course, if too much is created, the room will start glitching out though, which would make for a pretty cool and creepy episode. But who else could we see in the room besides Pink Diamond and the whale? Well, if Steven will get to know some stuff that Rose knew in the room, then why can't he see Rose herself in there? Who's better to give Steven answers than Rose herself, or rather the cloud version of Rose, since the actual Rose kind of turned into him?
She kind of turned into me. Well, I have her gem. The rest is from my dad.
There's also the possibility of learning a little bit more about Lion. Or this could carry on from the new crystal gems and Steven's trying to find answers on whatever happens in that episode. The episode's called Storm in the Room, which could mean several things. It could mean an actual storm, as I said before, perhaps in a flashback. If the room ends up glitching out, it could turn into something resembling a storm. Or if it's not a literal storm, it could mean someone storms into the room, there's a stormy reaction or something. Steven went in the room looking for answers, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna get the responses he wants. The episode could end up taking a more comedic, lighthearted turn where the room doesn't know how to respond to the questions he asks. Instead, it just gives him random things. Steven Universe episode titles and descriptions can be a bit misleading sometimes. The show likes to go slowly when revealing things. It's not going to tell us everything in this episode. But hopefully at least one of our questions will be answered by the end of this. Whether that be through Rose, a flashback, a glitch, a whale, or anything in between. This episode will cause a storm. Anyway, thanks for watching, cause the video's over, isn't it?